Hi, this is Sandy. I haven't done any writing or blogging for about 4 days, and I really missed it. I can certainly see with my process at Desteni why they say writing yourself to freedom. And I wanted to share what happened in the last 4 days. Um, and I also wanted to follow the process that Sennett suggested about when you're looking at a point to first see it in 2D, write it, and then express it, speak it, do a blog on the same point, forgive yourself, and live it. So this would be my speaking the words that I had written about, and I was looking into my reaction, specifically my fear around being attacked. And when I say attacked, I mean verbally, emotional abuse, but that's not really fair. Just my fear of being verbally attacked. And I do believe that I probably live almost 100% of the time. Um, I'm starting to feel more calm inside now, but I have lived largely, probably constantly in that fight or flight mode, which would be the feeling of anxiety. And it's pretty obvious to myself and many people this creates illnesses in the physical body. So the first instance I noticed, so I am becoming more aware, which is great. I do see that. The first instance I noticed was a week ago, last Saturday. I was anticipating going to my sister's and seeing a lot of relatives for my mother's birthday. And I'm specifically talking about how my mind controls me in all these situations regarding the point of fear of attack. And when I thought about going to see my mom, I projected feelings. I got images of in my mind of who would be there. So these pictures came up in my mind, and specifically of my nephew and his fiancée. I have had a belief lately that they don't like me, that they feel superior to me. And when I thought of the day and going to see them, these pictures came up in my mind, and then feelings of inferiority, and then feelings of actually the opposite, polarity, the better than, because how dare they assume they are better than me. Mostly I'd say around the subject of money, but maybe also age and success, accomplishments. In actual fact, when I went, they were extremely friendly. Nothing. We had a really fun time together, all of us. And this was not the case at all. I projected my feelings of inferiority and failure onto them. The next case I noticed where my mind jumped in, and I had that fight or flight feeling again. It was right after that in the car going home. Steely Dan was on, and that my mind kicked in. It brought images of an ex-boyfriend and a time in my life when I was going to university. And these images and memories evoked feelings, emotions, again, verbal attack, memories of being criticized by this person, of feeling less than intellectually, of not being enough, of not really having any talent. There was humiliation in the relationship. And what I did is I started being very morose in the car, and I started saying, oh, I don't fit in this world. I've never really understood why people get so into music, which is a ridiculous statement. It really angered my son. I don't blame him. And he said, well, it's really a matter of preference, and you're being very dramatic about this. And very quickly after that, oh, and I said inside my head, I thought, well, he's very young, he's naive. He doesn't really know what he's talking about. I didn't want to say it out loud. I said it in my little private place. After that, very quickly, Rocky Horror Picture Show came on, soundtrack, which I love, and all these images again. So the mind kicked in again, bringing back past thoughts and feelings and emotions, and pictures in my mind, happy times with girlfriends in high school, and dancing and singing. And so even though it's positive, it was just so clear to me that I am a slave of my mind, consciousness systems, of these things coming from my subconscious into my conscious mind and controlling me, making me feel morose, angry, hateful at the world. I don't fit in. I'm only all feeling sorry for myself, like a victim, making me feel like a victim. And then 5 minutes later, oh, gee, everything isn't so bad. So the mind switched into happy pictures and thoughts and feelings, and then I felt better. So very controlled. Instead of being still in the car, enjoying the company of my husband and son, chatting with them, staying here, I didn't do that at all. I traveled back and forth and had lots of emotions. So very clear, very, very clear to me. Huge stuff to me that I've learned in Destiny over the last few months. The next thing that happened, it was the last week of the month, and in the course I'm taking, it's kind of that week in there. I can be doing reading, but I'm not really focusing on Destiny, so I kind of let it go for the week. The next thing that happened is my husband picked me up somewhere on Tuesday night, and he was tired and impatient and wanted me to hurry up. This brought on very strong feelings of resentment and anger in me. And I told him so when we got home. I was very angry at him. And a lot of it was to do of the past. And it evoked feelings and brought up memories of several situations in my life where, again, I have felt very dominated, beaten down, controlled by an angry man. A man that's angry at me, that thinks of me as less than. And I certainly agreed with that. Of a man who I had to live in fear of. This is not the relationship I have with my husband now. It's my second marriage. And he's right, he does bear the brunt of this. So I could see that. However, we decided that he does not need to pick me up from that meeting every week. I'm busy there. And he can go home. He worked all day till 9 o'clock. So he doesn't need to do that. I can walk home. I love walking. And yeah, so he was in a bad mood. That's true. That's his responsibility, and mine is my reaction. And the last thing that happened was my husband and I talking about money, and I had a very, very violent reaction, emotional reaction. I felt, again, attacked, like I had to defend, that things were going to be taken away from me. I felt huge feelings of fear of poverty, fear of loss. Although I overreacted, let me see, I'm just trying to think of what would come up. So again, my mind kicked in with a lot of memories and pictures of the past, where I feel that in my first marriage, I was left in poverty. I was too. Not the kind of poverty that we were on the street. But certainly the kids and I had some money to buy food and just cover the rent kind of thing. So, not to criticize, but the family that, so my ex-husband's family and him had, especially his family, had significant money. So just there was a disparity there where perhaps they could have helped more. But again, the mind kicking in, controlling me. So controlling me in the here, now, through thoughts, through memories coming in to my conscious mind in the form of pictures, sometimes music, and controlling, enslaving me by bringing on thoughts and emotions, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and changing how I would react if something wrong with yourself.